Here we go. Hello.
Actually, the spotlight, right?
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
Figgy.
And
Yeah.
in a way, my question ties in with what you were just discussing about not reacting, trying to have a heart to heart connection and not reacting with the anyway. Pernilla, I was really hoping that you could just I could channel you. This happened about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was with my partner somewhere, and he went up ahead and I followed across the parking lot. And because it had taken me so long, it looked like I had arrived separately. And a man approached me, a beautiful guy, probably, in his early 50s, mid 50s. And he was from Canada and wanted to know why I was there. What was I doing there? And said, I'm here with my partner, blah, blah, blah. And we spoke for a few minutes. And then I said, by the way, my name's Phoebe. And I held out my hand and he said, I'm Leaf. And he shook my hand. But what he did was he pressed his finger against the inside of my wrist. It was a very invasive, it just felt gross. I was like my body reaction was like, oh,
Yeah.
like this is so unwelcome. But what I thought immediately was, don't shame this man. You don't have to like what he just did, but you do, because my tendency is to be a sledgehammer.
Mm.
That's my life.
It's protection. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought, no, don't do that. But afterwards, as I was walking away from him, I thought, what would Pernilla say here? What would she say? Would she say, oh, that is very unwelcome? Or that feels like, how can I speak for myself? Because I was very aware that I didn't have a voice. Like I was aware that I didn't want to hit him with the sledgehammer. That was like the first thing. Don't smash this guy. But then I thought, but I couldn't speak. Like there was no way to say, oh, I don't like that, or that's so unnecessary, or that's really unwelcome. And I don't think you're going to get the response you're looking for from that.
No. It obviously it depends on the situation and it depends on the person doing it. I have that, autistic superpower that there's not much filter, but because it comes from a very honest place, I can say things to people that is not taken as an attack in any way. I have experienced, for example, like you say, men shaking their hand and then they pull me in or they do something where I feel exactly the same like you say, like that. But then what I have done is just like, oh, you really scare me when you do that, or you really startled me when you did that. So they see my vulnerability right away, and they have probably just been taught that putting your hand forward, that makes women feel, safe with you or whatever. And that's why he's doing it. He might not even be aware why he's doing it. He might also be a twat. What do I know? But reacting with what actually comes up, that you really scare me when you do that, or you really startled me when you did that. It's not an attack in any way. It's showing my vulnerability that I feel uncomfortable. But that really startled me. But not saying that you make me feel uncomfortable, but saying I feel vulnerable, or you really scared me when you did. Then normally men, particularly men, they react with the opposite of what we actually afraid of. If we act with attack on a man, they usually react like a man and attack back.
Yeah.
But if a woman react with vulnerability, a normal man, I mean, not a toxic one that enjoys, bullying women, but just
Right.
a normal man will be like, I'm so sorry that I didn't mean to do that. And then the whole relationship in that instant is changed, because both of us are standing vulnerable in the situation, that because he could clearly feel something happened. He has no idea what happened, but he could clearly feel something happened, unless he's, an asshole. You
Yeah,
know what?
my sense is he's just so lost.
Yeah.
My sense is he's just lost.
Yeah.
He
He doesn't know then. Then
yeah,
he does some, I mean, a lot of, it's not, unfortunately, it's not something that we teach boys how to be around women, because we have been taught with boys will be boys. So we were the ones that needed to bend ourselves in, and it just made them not knowing how to act, around women. A lot of men, if you smile to a man, he thinks, oh, is she flirting with me? Which is no, kindness is possible. You can meet people that are kind towards you, that do not want anything from you, but it's just meeting you with kindness. But for a lot of men, that is like, it's so unusual to be met with that, because the way that we raise boys and men, it's not very kind, and it's not very compassionate. They're very much alone in a lot of things that makes
yeah.
them, go online and find men that know absolutely shit, telling them how women feel and what women act like. And then they go into that incel type of thing where they're even more isolated.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I
That's
don't,
great.
I obviously don't know in that situation, but
Mhm.
what I normally do is just being honest.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'll give that a try.
And if you're in a situation where you feel that you being vulnerable, because like you say, you're a sledgehammer, it's just your survival mechanism. In your family, what you needed to become in order to survive was a sledgehammer. There was no space for Phoebe being vulnerable. So therefore
Yeah.
you didn't become vulnerable. So it's something that you need to practice in situations, and you can just do it in your mind when you're in a situation that where you can feel that um taking control is coming up in you, that sledgehammer is coming up in you. Then just make a thought experiment. What would happen if I right now was vulnerable? Ooh, you can feel the fear already just by thinking of it. Okay, calm down, calm down. Can you be in a body where you're really, really scared and you cannot be vulnerable? Okay, now, what would happen if you were vulnerable? And then, so you can start to feel that softness that begins to come up, because it's what all of us need. Even the incel guys and all the toxic men and all of that, what they need is that softness to surface. And
Yeah.
like we started by saying, it's the only way that we are gonna, heal the world. It's with, yeah, compassion and kindness. But it starts with ourselves.
Okay, that's great. That's perfect. Thanks.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.